to say thank you to our sponsor, Sal Baltimore, a premium watch company that is proudly designed and assembled in Baltimore, Maryland, my home state. With attention to detail and quality in every design that pays tribute to the city of Baltimore and its people. A watch you can be proud to wear every day. I myself own the Founders Edition and love to show it off. Go check them out at salbaltimore.com. The new Batman trailer.
From your secret friend.
Underneath the bridge,
Who?
top has sprung a leak, and the animals I've trapped
Haven't a clue.
all become my pet.
Let's play a game. Just me and you. Any of this mean anything to you?
You're becoming quite a celebrity. Why is he writing to you?
If you are justice, please do not lie. What is the price for your blind eye?
The hell are you supposed to be?
I'm vengeance.
Whoa! This guy's crazy!
You're part of this too.
How am I part of it?
You'll see.
Okay, that is the Batman trailer for 2021. I'm out of all the DC characters, and being that I used to work in the movie theater when the first Batman movie came out, I have very opinionated views upon this movie and all Batman movies that come out. And one, I can understand how we are going for the more realistic, gritty version of Batman in this time period of what's going on with him. It's more towards the younger years where he basically started out and he's trying to feel his way. You know, he's already been Batman for a little bit, and where it's falling in line with the most recent Batman movies, it's not understandable. From this preview, it does look like they're trying to do a complete reboot, not trying to rely on any of the definable stuff that happened before. And it's like watching a Batman movie that's now being cast and acted by the people who did The Crow. Or even worse, Nirvana is basically the people who are acting in this movie. They are going for that complete grunge look that was that period of the Batman comic books and trying to bring it into real life. I like how it's shot. The cinematography is not a problem. I am having an issue with some of the aesthetics of it, like the Batmobile looking like it came out of high school auto shop with an engine in it, when this is supposed to be, you know, one of the greatest thinkers, billionaires that's got all this money in the world. And he literally was probably a 1969 Camaro, chopped off the butt and put a jet engine into it on over the weekend. It doesn't have that level of Batman that you would expect from this billionaire. And the casting for the main role of Batman, he's not brawny enough for it. He's not the physical structure he needs for it, even in the Batman suit. And then when he's Bruce Wayne, once again, he's got that whole Nirvana feel going on, which is not Bruce Wayne when he was in this time period of what's going on. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Rebekah, who's literally going to say everything opposite to what I just said. Go ahead.
First of all, you don't know that. Batman is my favorite superhero, and I've never really met a Batman movie I didn't like, except for the stupid one with George Clooney, which was wretched, and we all agree was wretched. I've loved every Batman movie that's
Wait a minute, let us all get a vote on that. George Clooney Batman, all in favor of saying it's wretched, say aye. Aye.
I always apologize for Batman.
It's bad. The George Clooney one was bad. All the rest of them, like even this one is compelling to me for a lot of reasons. I do like modern somehow, which I kind of like, which gives me a very Gotham City feeling, because I always feel like Gotham, when Bruce's parents died in like that 20s, 30s time frame, is appropriate. Like obviously he's older, he's grown, we've moved in, but I still like moved on. But I do like the feeling that it gets, and Robert Pattinson is an interesting choice. I know a lot of people give him crap for Twilight and other stuff, but he's actually proven himself to be a really compelling actor in a lot of other films. He's got a lot of accolades, and as far as Bruce Wayne needing to be beefy, if Michael Keaton can play Batman, then literally anyone can play Batman. And so, like Michael Keaton, in my opinion, but a fantastic Batman. And so the only person who did it really well as both characters, Bruce Wayne and Batman, was Christian Bale. So I'm willing to give Robert Pattinson the benefit of the doubt. Are a few aesthetics, like the Batmobile, you don't get to see much of it. It's not my favorite. And I think the problem for me is when they add too many villains into the story, that might be an indicator that there's not a lot of plot. So I think sometimes the movies that have 2 or 3 villains in them struggle, instead of just having one central antagonist. So that's what I'm worried about.
Understood. Josh, why don't you take over and tell us how you feel?
Well, despite how you feel about this movie, you, just like everyone else, is going to bend over and just take all of it in.
Shame.
All of it in.
Shame.
Stay away from this movie. You know, everyone's going to want to see it. I will tell you, though, I did pass by once. I was super excited once the trailer came out. I saw it the first day, and I watched it, and it was just like, yes. Like it's dark, it's gritty, it's the detective. I passed by my kid's room, and I was like, "Did you watch the trailer?" And he just turns his head and goes, "It's not for kids." You know, this isn't the Disney Star Wars Batman. Heath Ledger's Joker changed it for everybody.
And here we go.
You know, his ability to bring home what that and okay, side note, I hated Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker.
And I thought my jokes were bad.
Okay? He was pathetic. He wasn't a mastermind, a criminal mastermind. And they go back and go, oh, maybe he wasn't the real one. Maybe he was the inspiration. Blah, 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 blah. Right? With Heath Ledger's Joker, he brought this realism to the role of what this sort of dementia looks like. And I feel with Robert Pattinson, I never watched Twilight. I saw the previews for The Lighthouse, but I've never been in the mood for something that deep, you know? So he really has a clean slate with me. But as the young detective, which I think this series is revolving around, you know, it gives the possibility for there to be this growth or this naivety that is given towards a younger actor that is developing into an iconic role, you know. But for me personally too, Jeffrey Wright is one of my favorite actors of all time. And the fact that he's Commissioner Gordon or Detective Gordon, depending on when the timeline is, like, they have surrounded Robert Pattinson with some amazing supporting. Russell Crowe, I know that he got a lot of shit, but you know what I see them doing is giving this actor who may not have this sense from the general public of a leading role of this magnitude, and they are putting him around actors that can hold the fucking weight. They are putting him around actors that can, I mean, Jeffrey Wright, Andy Sudeikis, is that his name, I think? These are guys that can pull emotion, you know? So I see this as being, you know, and going to Rebecca's point, when there's a lot of bad guys, maybe they skimp on story. I'm hoping that they go full bore with the story and assume we already have seen the fucking Catwoman movies. We know who the Joker is. We know who the Penguin is. Can we get rid of all of this growing tales of having to explain to us the characters we've seen done a dozen times already? And I think that if they just drive the nail through and go, okay, everybody's familiar with the canon, the general brushstrokes, now let's just go ahead and go forward with what we're doing. You know, I think that I have a lot of faith in the actors. The director hasn't put out anything that I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. But based off the trailer alone, like, I will absolutely be there. I'm super excited. I like the theme. I like, you know, to be honest with you, I'm a little worried about the reception of the fact that Batman is actually just as mentally deranged as anybody else. Taking the law into his own hands, using physicality, money, and stature to be able to go do what he deems is right and wrong. And it seems like in the preview that they're dealing with this, you know. So I'm a big fan of the anti-hero heroes, and I don't think Batman has been shown in that light enough, you know. But I feel like they have they've set this up to be really, really like a really well told story. And that's what when I look at the actors that are involved in this. I mean, like, coming off opposite William Dafoe in The Lighthouse, this was supposed to be like a grueling, mentally like torturous system to get this performance. And then you have all of these great actors around there. It just seems to me like they're setting up to tell a really, really good story, and I'm excited to see it.
I can agree with you on all those points. I'm just hoping that the doubt that I'm putting on it with Robert Pattinson and the way that the characters are being costumed and makeup and the way that they look doesn't draw away from the story of how this Batman's going to be. With that, Josh, why don't you lead off on the grading on this one?
I can understand your point. Is sometimes it's so stylized it distracts from the story. But being as how I dress like that pretty much every day, I'm okay with it, you know. So on that note, trailer 5. I mean, like, this is the best thing about it, and this is why, to me, it's done so well, is that everybody knows the story, right? Everybody knows the story of Batman. What's this movie about? Who's the main villain? What's the overall arc? I still don't know. And you know, that to me makes me want to run and go see it, because I'm interested to figure it out. I'm interested to be taken on this journey. You know, like I said, the supporting actors in this are fucking heavy hitters, you know. And the reuse of Nirvana, that grunge aspect, that, you know, maybe, and maybe this is just the pessimist, you know, the optimist in me. I don't use that word too often, but the optimist in me is hoping that maybe they embrace the actual Heath Ledger version of Batman, and I think that everybody talked crap about every Batman before they were picked. There are people that didn't like Christian Bale, and he did a phenomenal job. And his transformation in The Machinist prior to Batman. You look at Robert Pattinson's mental, the conditioning in the lighthouse. I would give it, so I'll give it a 5 for the trailer. I think that it's going to be, I give it in the 90s on both. I do. I give it in the 90s on both. And this is opening weekend. Got to be there with popcorn, Coke, the whole 9.
Awesome. Rebekah, go ahead and give us your grades on this one.
I think on the trailer, I'm going to give that a 4-star. It was not compelling as the Dune trailer to me, but I'm a huge Batman fan, and it did leave me with questions that I want. So it's definitely an intriguing trailer. It was a little confusing to me, which is probably intentional since I think the Riddler is the main villain, and we're meant to be a little bit confused by that. So it's a solid 4-star review for me. I think the Rotten Tomatoes score, critics are kind to a lot of Batman movies, actually. So I'm not sure. I'm thinking the critics are going to be less kind. It might end up around the 70 on Rotten Tomatoes with critics. I think fans might like it more. So I'm shooting for probably like an 85% score for fans. We'll see. But I say that as one of the only people in the world who liked Batman versus Superman, loved it. So who knows?
All right. My grades on this, I'm actually going to give it, I'm going to give it a 3.75 because it is a little bit too confusing for me. It just doesn't seem right to me. The core of me, I'm just like, I don't know if it's Robert Pattinson. I don't know if it's how the costumes are. I don't know how it's shot. It's just, it just doesn't do it for me. Rotten Tomatoes, I believe this is probably going to be in that 75 percentile. It's going to have the core lovers of Batman that are going to go see it. The critics are going to be like, it was well done with great acting. Everybody was awesome. But it's just not, it's just not going to appeal to everyone, and the haters are going to drive the numbers down. When and where I'm going to see this, I'm going to probably see this in the movie theater. It's not going to be opening night, but it will be in the cinemas because Batman movies deserve to be seen in the true cinema fashion. And it's just, you got to give it an honest look before everyone else gets out there and then starts tainting your view about what's happened and telling you whatever else happened in the movie, and then that way you just don't want to see in the first place. So I definitely will see it in the movie theater to go from there. With that, it's been a great show. I want to thank both Josh and Rebekah for being here with me. The Preview Review Show is here to tell you unbiased opinions of the previews that are coming out. And I would like to thank you all for watching. And thank you both for being here. Have a good day and goodbye.